This is very much a new channel. I don't want it to be limited to South Africa. I'd really love I think the information that we want to get across in the various elements of the sport is valuable to anyone. But we are in South Africa. We're in summer, which is the Northern Hemisphere's winter. You work, you ride, you commentate on events all around this beautiful country and this continent. Tell us a little bit about South Africa. Let's do a 5-second or a 2-minute advert for South African mountain biking.
We're young, we're new to mountain biking in South Africa, so I think it's still, even now, 15, 20 years after the initial big events and the burst onto the scene of the Cape Epic and the Sani to Sea and so on, events are still growing. People are still in love with mountain biking here. And the reason for that, I believe, is that landowners have realized that it's actually quite lekker to have mountain bikers going through your land, and it's not a threat. It's an opportunity to show off your land if that's what you want to do. It's more eyes on the trail if security is your issue. You've got more eyes on your farmlands, and they realize that in fact it can be good business as well. So I think that's allowing us to explore more and more of this country. That I believe the diversity of this country is what lends itself to becoming to being such a good mountain bike destination. An event here is so different to an event just over the Helderberg mountains and into Grabo even. The terrain is different, the climate is different even. And then again, you go up to Natal and you go up to the Eastern Cape, and all over the country, you get such variety. And I think every time you go and do an event, if that's what you want to do, you're going to get something different. And if you just want to trails, if you just want to do gravel rides, there are, thousands and thousands of kilometers of uncharted roads you can just go and ride on. So I think this is, we say, the home of mountain biking. I don't believe it is. I think the world is the home of mountain biking, but this is certainly one of the great suburbs of mountain biking in the world.
And more and more there's a lot of international tournaments, least of all the Cape Epic and Wise to Wales, which are two now massive international stage races. What's your take on the South African mentality of doing stage races?
Sure.
Who wants to get on a bike for 7, 8, 9 days, ride 800-900 kilometers? What is that, a South African thing, do you think?
I think it is. Having said that, I know that a lot of Europeans come out and ride the events. I think that the people who come from Europe particularly, who come and ride those events, are a lot more serious about their riding and their racing. Obviously, if you're going to pay money and come over to another country, you want to be fit and well, and you want to do well. I think we have this and maybe a lot of them watching this program, but those of us who just like riding out in areas we'll never ever get to go to, from point to point. And that's what I love about a lot of these events, going from one point to the next point, not knowing how you're going to get there, but just enjoying that journey and experiencing the people along the way, the wildlife, if that's what you're going to see along the way, and worrying that you might run over a puff adder or see a cobra. Well, hell, that's quite cool. If that is a fear, well, that's a pretty cool sport to be involved in if you're going to be meeting those sort of things. But I think stage races are a strange thing. I think South Africa have had this love affair with endurance events, going back to the Comrades Marathon. Perhaps it goes back to our days of isolation. We had to find something to keep us entertained in South Africa, so we had Comrades and we had Doozy Canoe Marathon. No one believes people can run from Pietermaritzburg to Durban along a riverside and put their boat in every couple of kilometers, but not really worry about that. It's getting there as quickly as possible, sometimes out of the boat. And I think that just taps into, mountain bikers tap into that emotion. A lot of the runners are doing mountain biking, a lot of the paddlers are doing mountain biking for the same reason. It's exploration, it's testing ourselves against the very, very tough elements that this country has, and what better way to do it than on a mountain bike.